My name is Isis Booker. I am a public information officer with the Department of Consumer Affairs. And today we're keeping it short and simple, and we're talking about strong passwords. Before I can get into the presentation, as always, we give this little disclaimer that we are not trying to give any legal advice, and this is not to serve as a substitute for reading any of the laws. This presentation is merely for educational purposes. Okay, so why are passwords important? One, password protect our financial information. It protects us from identity theft. It's a way to prove that we are who we say we are. And it keeps our stuff secure and private. That's why passwords are important. Now, since it's so important, how do we make sure that we create a strong password? Now, you must make sure that it's at least 12 characters. Why? Because the longer the password is, the harder it is for scammers and hackers to get into your account and crack the code. Now, it has to have a combination of upper and lowercase letters, symbols, some numbers, and you don't want to make the password related to your personal life or something that's easily Googleable. Is Googleable a word? Probably not, but we're going to use it today. Now, here's a way that you can create a strong password, right? So make sure you have all of that and that you can remember it. One, you want to choose a sentence or phrase that is meaningful to you. Here's an example. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that's tomorrow. Select the first letter of each word, and what we're going to do is create that as our password base. Now, we have to insert some uppercase and lowercase letters, mix it all up. And as you can see here, we have made the S, the O, and the B uppercase letters. Now, what else do we have to do? We have to add numbers and special characters. As you can see at the old and the new, we have put in a $sign and the number 2. Now, when we go and make sure to see if we actually have everything we need to make a strong password, it's at least 12 characters long. Check. It contains the number 2, so it has a number. It has capital letters. That's the B and that's the O. And it has the $sign. So it has everything that's needed to have a strong password. And if you're still a little leery about if your password is strong, please go to this website right here, www.uic.edu. They do not save any of your passwords, and the website is secure, so you can safely input your password and make sure that it is a strong one. Now that you got a strong password, we got to talk about why you have to change your password often, right? One, during a security breach on the site or your system. If that happens, you have to immediately change your password, and I do mean immediately. If you lost a device that has your password stored, again, now it's in the hands of somebody else, please change your password. And if someone else gets a hold of your password, the whole point of us to have a password is to keep our information secure. So if somebody else have it, that creates a pointless point, right? It's pointless to have a password in. So can anybody tell me how often you should change your password? Please put it in the comment section. Let's see what you guys got. I'm gonna give you guys about 10 seconds. How often? Is it every 30, 60, or 90 days? Okay, the answer is we suggest that you do it every 3 months. So the answer is C, but you might have some people that says every 60 to 90 days. It all depends on how secure you want your information to be and to switch it up so these hackers won't get into your information. But if you do it at least every 3 months, you're good. Now, how do we keep our passwords secure, right? One, we don't want to reuse our passwords that we've had for other accounts, because if a hacker gets into one account, they're going to use that same password and try to get into the other accounts. You want to make sure you pick security questions only you know the answer to. If you Google my name, you will see the college I went to and the high school I went to. I would not have a security question that's based off of that. Change passwords quickly if there is a breach. Like I said previously, that's something that you want to change immediately, and you need to consider getting a password manager. And we're going to get into what a password manager is. It's basically a software that allows users to store, create, and manage their passwords. It can be on a computer or a mobile device. And about 65% of Americans don't trust password managers. Now, why am I telling you guys that 65% of Americans don't trust passwords? Because it is true. A password manager basically is one password that you need to remember that has stored all of your other passwords that you have for all of your other accounts. So people are a little bit scared that it could get hacked, and now they have all of this information and they can get into all of the accounts that you have. But this is why password managers are trustworthy. One, it's encryption, it's encrypted, okay? Which means it's in some kind of techno language that us humans can't read, okay? And it's multi-factor authentication. So once you put in your password to access it, it's going to send you some kind of code or ask you for a fingerprint or something like that in order to access it. And it has zero knowledge. And zero knowledge means they don't store your information into their databases. So they don't know your password to enter into the password manager, and they cannot see all of your passwords that you have stored in there. So those are very valid points on why you should trust password managers. And here are some advantages. It saves you time. Okay, how many people forget their passwords and have to go to forget password and then create a whole new password? I've done it multiple times because I can't remember it. So a password manager would definitely save me some time. It protects my identity and information for those of you guys that plan on getting one. It does that. And it alerts you when a password has potentially become compromised. That is a great fact because a lot of us have compromised passwords and don't even know that they are compromised. Now, if you're looking for a password manager, go to safeonline.org. It's a National Cybersecurity Alliance nonprofit organization, and their mission is to create a more secure, interconnected world. Okay? Go to their website, look at the do's and the don'ts, well, the good and the bad of these password managers. We cannot actually refer you on to what the best password manager is. All that we can do is tell you to make sure you read your reviews, read the fine print on anything that you choose, okay? Now, we did mention something about detecting compromised passwords on the last slide. And for those of you guys that have iPhones, we have that feature already. If you are an Android user, look into your settings to see if you guys have something like this as well. I'm pretty sure you do. If you go to passwords, you'll see something that says security recommendations. And as you guys can see, this is actually from my own personal phone. So once you go to security recommendations, detect compromised passwords, you want to make sure you enable that, and they'll let you know which websites passwords have been compromised. As you see, PayPal and Credit Karma, my accounts have been compromised at that time, and I should change the web password on those websites. And once I click on it, it automatically takes me to that website. So I don't even have to click out of this. I can just click that button and it takes me straight there. All right, you also want to check your web browser. Go to settings. Then you want to go to autofill. And then you can see check passwords. They'll let you know what passwords have been compromised. Look at that. This is for Google Chrome. I'm pretty sure Safari, Mozilla Firefox might have the same features there. Now, once you check your compromised passwords, just like the phone, it'll let you know which sites have been compromised. And this will actually let you know how it's been compromised. So this one's been found in a data breach. And like I said before, if it's been found in a data breach, immediately change that password. Okay, let's test your knowledge, people. Here's a question. I'm giving you 10 seconds. Your high school's mascot is an excellent answer to a security question. Please put it in the chat box so I can see you guys' answers. What do we have? Is it true or is it false? All right, you guys, it is false. Like I said earlier, you can see what high school I attended if you Google me. I would not put that as one of my security questions. All right, number 2, it's okay to use the same password for all of your accounts. True or false? Let's see what you got. I'm giving y'all a couple of seconds. All right, you guys, the answer to that, it is false. Again, if there's been a breach or a hacker got into your account, they're going to use that same password and see if they can get into other accounts. So please do not use the same passwords for all of your accounts. All right, let's get into some tools that you can use. Account alerts. And here is an example. Most of people got account alerts for spending thresholds on your financial accounts. But to keep our information secure as well, like passwords and stuff, you can also get an account alert if someone log into your accounts from an unknown device. So if I was to use a computer I never used, I would get a message saying, hey, your information has been logged in onto this computer in this area. Is this you? And I would say yes or no. And that brings me to the next one. Is this you alerts? Same example that I gave. And yeah, credit card credit report changes. That lets you know if someone has taken your identity or something, which means that they could have gotten into your account somehow. There's also multi-factor authentication, which is basically like having 2 passwords. It's either going to be something you have or something you are. So when I log into my Google email, I get a code sent to my phone. I had to press the same code in order to get access to my email. Something you are is just facial recognition, eye scan, or even fingerprint. And when it's multi-factor authentication, it's going to be two passwords. You enter your password and then you have to enter the code, like I said previously, or get a facial recognition. Something like this is going to be sent and you get to say, yes, that is me. In order to get access, it can even be hardware where you get a code on this little keychain thing like that, and you have to input that code in order to gain access to your account or computer. For my military and federal people, they know a lot about this. They have a card that has all of their information in to give them access into secure information. And they have to actually input it into the computer. Is it a CAT scan or I think it's called a CAT scan or a card reader. It's a card reader regardless, and that's how they're able to access that information. And biometric technology. So like I said previously, that's going to be something you are. That's like our human characteristics, like facial recognition, which is going to measure the unique patterns of our face. It's used in security and law enforcement. And regular people who have smartphones, as well as voice recognition. Everybody knows Siri name. Everybody knows Alexa name. So we all know what voice recognition is, right? It's going to detect your unique voice to make sure you get access, or you can order your favorite Amazon orders. Fingerprint scan. Again, a lot of smartphones have it. Us regular people who got smartphones, you can unlock your cell phone with your fingerprint, and it just captures the unique patterns and ridges of our finger. And those are all of the biometric ways of accessing our accounts, as well as retina scan, right? But we don't really have as much features with that on our phones anyway, like us regular people don't. If you're like secure on some kind of federal government level, you might experience that. But these are all awesome ways to protect your information, and so you can be safe. If you have the ability to do two-factor authentication, definitely enable it. It's going to help protect your information, no matter what kind of account it is. Okay? So, if you think you've been a victim of identity theft because your password wasn't as secure, please call us. Like I said previously, this is what we do. We want to make sure we keep our consumers safe and we're getting their identity back, and we're making sure no one else is falling for the same scam, and that you guys have protected passwords. Okay, we want to make sure that your information is protected and you're doing all that you can do to keep your information protected. Well, if you guys think of any kind of questions later on, please do not hesitate to contact me or the department. We'll be glad to answer your questions. And I hope you guys have a beautiful Wednesday.